One of the more frequent questions asked is concerning an evaluation of a case. What kind of components or what are involved in an evaluation of a case in personal injury? Those components are generally called damages. Damages consist of past medical bill, the possibility of future medical bill. It consists of lost wages, those amount of time that you've lost of employment because the doctor said you can't work for 1 or 2 days, for example, or the time lost going back and forth to physical therapy sessions. That becomes lost time as well. If it's going to affect your ability to earn a living in the future, then it becomes lost earning capacity. That occurs usually with a very serious injury. Another factor that goes into the evaluation is the type of impact. Whether it is a severe impact, a minor impact, an impact in a T-bone, impact where the car is flipped, loss of consciousness. All I can do is flag different types of information that help to make an evaluation of the damages done on a physical basis. Other components is concerning how these injuries have affected you not only during the time of recovery, but also in the future, if they have caused some lifestyle changes. These lifestyle changes, for example, is you used to play tennis before the accident and now you can't play tennis at all. Those kinds of things will go into an evaluation concerning whether or not it is affecting you in the future. Pain, suffering, and mental anguish. Mental anguish has to do with all the anxiety that you put up with because of the physical therapy, the doctors going back and forth for the car repair, all the things associated with the recovery of your injuries. These are components that go into the case. My office is trained to identify those components, be able to organize them, and then submit them to the insurance company in a form that fits their method of determining and evaluating a claim. The last thing that we have that is very important as far as the case is concerned, especially an interview, and that is making sure that the individual client follows the instructions of the doctor. Many times people have work schedules or they've got children and school, a lot of different things that affect their ability to go to the doctor on a frequent basis, especially for physical therapy. But it is essential. So we try to reinforce the fact that you must follow what the doctor gives in instructions so that you will recover quickly and fully. In addition, there are questions usually during the interview concerning attorney fees. Attorney fees are based on contingent fee, which simply means if there is no recovery, there is no fee, and there are no expenses. In this kind of circumstances, it's usually 1/3 of whatever we recover. But in our firm, we always guarantee that the client walk away with a minimum of 1/3 from the recovery. There are exceptions to the rule, particularly if there is a possibility of negligence on the part of our client, a comparative negligence case. For example, in Texas, you have a percentage of negligence of 100%. You could have an allocation of 80% on the other driver and 20% comparative negligence on your part, which means that the damages would be less, and therefore it would be less as far as the recovery is concerned. We also explain all the different components of your own insurance. You may have health insurance. Health insurance will take care of the medical bills, but under their contract, they have a right to receive their money back, called subrogation. These subrogation interests have to be taken care of at the time of settlement also, as well as paying back the medical bills. In addition, there are different kinds of policies on your own auto policy. For example, you may have MedPay or PIP, Personal Injury Protection. These types of policies, provisions are for paying medical bills associated with an accident, whether you were in a car accident or if you were a pedestrian or if you were in a vehicle of somebody else's when they were hit. It doesn't matter. The PIP and MedPay take care of medical bills, usually up to $2,500, no matter what kind of fault factor is involved in the case. The difference between PIP and MedPay is that PIP is paid without any reference of getting any money back. MedPay, however, is if you recover money from a third party, the person who hit you, then that money has to be refunded back to your insurance. That's the difference between MedPay and PIP. There are no rights of subrogation generally in reference to those circumstances as concerning health insurance. However, there are certain health insurance providers that require that the PIP be paid to them directly. For example, Medicare. The point I'm making is that there are several different things that come into play in an individual case based on the individual facts. So, for example, you may have health insurance, PIP, MedPay, You may have liens from Medicare or Medicaid, the health insurance provider that you have, whether it is a standard policy or an ERISA policy. All of these complications go into determining the value of the case and the net dollars to you after the case is settled or tried. At some point in the case, there will be the assessment of what the value is will be given to the insurance company. The insurance company will give their value. If it is acceptable to the client, then we try to get the case settled and maximize the recovery to the client. However, if it is insufficient or denial of liability, then litigation is something we do frequently as well, particularly certain insurance companies. As a result, the litigation costs can increase as well as the attorney fees. But all of these things are explained to the client well in advance, so that the decision to go to litigation is the client's decision, just like settlement. There is no settlement until the client signs the document, until the drafts are signed. The attorneys in our office give legal advice. We don't make the decisions. The decisions is left open to the client.